Mom, Neva Jean Kraft, was born August 19, 1927, on a farm in Iowa. She was the second of 5 children, born to Mary Augusta Draggart Kraft and Leslie Earl Kraft. Mom remembers moving from farm to farm to farm, looking for a better situation, looking for greater opportunities, until she was about 10 when her parents divorced. That led to more moves and more uncertainty. So after graduating from Illinois State Normal University in 1950, she married David Thorpe Tyler, and together they settled in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, to raise their family. They chose Fort Atkinson because of its progressive education system, and they especially liked James Luther, the superintendent of schools. Mom started working at Berry Elementary School, and her 5th graders from that time still remember the wonderful time they had in class with Mrs. Tyler. After she became pregnant with me, she became a full-time stay-at-home mom, but one must put stay-at-home in quotes because she was such an active person, an involved person in the community. She was one of the first people to bring Girl Scouting to Fort Atkinson, becoming a Girl Scout leader trainer. And she started taking me to Girl Scout camp at Horde Curtis Scout Camp when I was 2. And I would play in the woods and just be a general camp brat, as she taught people how to build campfires, how to identify plants, how to set up tents, how to make a Bunsen burner heater out of an old tin can and some cardboard and paraffin, and lots of singing around the campfire. She was always fond of going on birding expeditions, learning the names of birds. She was very involved in conservation projects. And always I got carried along and taken along. So right from the beginning, she instilled a love of nature in me, which goes on today. When I was little, I remember she and Dad would take a mattress out on the flat of the roof, and so we could look at the stars together, and they would point them out and the different constellations. As I got older, Mom got very involved as the Sunday school superintendent at the United Church of Christ. And so after camp and the out of doors, the church became a second home to me. Mom was a dedicated educator, and we spent many hours there before and after church, setting up the Sunday school rooms and setting up special displays and lesson plans, and many fine memories. And one of the most special ones were the few summers that we had Vacation Bible Day Camp out at Siebold's farm. Mom loved the water. She loved to be near lakes and ponds and rivers. She was not a good swimmer, and it scared her to be in the water and trying to swim. But she diligently took swimming lessons for as long as I can remember. But being on the water in a canoe was another thing. It made her happy. She loved to canoe, and she had many adventures and told many stories about being in a canoe. One of the wonderful things that we shared was a cabin in the woods in Ontario, Canada, on Lake Matinenda, which was 14 miles by boat, was the only way to get there. And more than once, I think, we canoed that distance. Uncle Charlie had a motorboat that we could always depend on for getting back. Not only did she love to be on the water, but she loved to paint on the water and things in the water. Her love for art, she was always very crafty, always very good with her hands. But when I was in high school art class, she got very serious about her art and decided to start taking classes. And out of taking classes with her friends, they decided to start the Black Hawk Artists. And the Black Hawk Artists are 12 women who meet monthly in each other's homes to support each other in their artistic endeavors and to have an annual show of their work. And it is with great pride that that show goes on and even honored her after her death last year. She was one of the first people to start the chapter of AAUW, American Association of University Women, in Fort Atkinson. She helped Hugh Highsmith in setting up the Koshkonong Mounds Preservation Park project. She was just very, very active. She was very active in Tuesday Club and a birthday club. She loved to study. She loved to travel. She was a great neighbor and an active community member. In 2009, 10 years after my father's death, Mom sold her home and moved to a retirement village in Connecticut to be closer to me and her grandchildren. She was very outgoing and personable and soon became a darling of the staff and residents there. She also made friends in my community through singing through the church choir and attending Mother House events, from dances and drum circles to bat counts and cow workshops, to meditation and new moon women's gatherings. She was always enthusiastic and fully present in these gatherings. She maintained a lively correspondence with her friends and kept up a very active life until just about 2 years before her death, when she moved into my home. She had had some sacral insufficiency fractures, and it was hard for her to get around. During her very last days, she was in the hospital. And she told me this story. She moved over close to me and she said, "I just want to tell you because I want you to remember. I was in this beautiful house that's all brown and gold with a wonderful, wonderful light, golden light filling this house. And the house was just full of people. And as she told me this story, her face lit up, and her crow's feet just spread across her face like rays of sunshine. And I'm sure she was glimpsing in to that heaven to where she was bound.